Hello, are we live?
Yep, we are live.
Excellent. Hello and welcome everybody to the Star Wars Episode 1 race, a tribute to David Stubbs. This is a special event that we are running. Unfortunately, David has had terminally ill health for the last year, but we're going to do this as an honorary event for him. And today we've got our three runners, NachoBrado and Metallica. They're going to compete in the 7 tracks which David was always notoriously good for. And actually my co-commentator as well with me, Ben, as being one of the old school runners, we did quite a lot together, didn't we? Yeah, so the player's just warming up for the moment for the start of the first race. Yeah, but I am Mike. I'm known in the community as Mikey Burger. And yeah, us three in particular, we're very much part of the old school, part of this community before it's before the new group really. So players are going to play all the 7 tracks of the amateur circuit in order, and their times will be used to give them a rank, and they'll be given a certain number of points based on those ranks, and then the accumulation of those points will determine who is the winner of the event, basically.
No doubt, and both of us go back to David's era. We were pretty solid across the board on all the tracks, but on a lot of these tracks, he whooped us really hard for a lot of them, particularly on Mongaza Speedway, which will be the second track here.
Yeah, he was absolutely excellent at that track, and in my opinion, probably the best even today on that track. So, I mean, he was
the first player to break the final 40-second mark a decade ago.
Yeah, and we think that will be the last second as well that will be broken. We don't think that 38 is possible, I don't think. And actually, if we look on the screen, we can see here we've got David's times here as a reference, which our players will have some opportunity to compete against. So obviously they've got their win counters, so they'll be sort of competing a little bit against each other. But obviously this is an overall event for all the competitors who will have opportunity to to see where they come there. But I think beating any of these times will be certainly be something to virtually brag about. So
particularly with the first 2, because that book to train time is like top 10, top 5, and Mongaza Speedway is actually top 3 still.
Yeah, Mongaza Speedway is actually very excellent. I mean, it's the top 3 times there are literally within the hundredths of seconds, so it's virtually no difference really. Yeah, so I need a little help here. Actually, I seem to have lost the communication box. Can't seem to find it.
I have the commentator controls and the tracker up.
Okay, how do I get to the... I just wanted to announce the countdown for our first race. I can't actually see.
Text channels general, apologizing to everyone. This is both of ours first time with the new setup, so understand we're still working out the kinks.
Yeah, thanks for explaining that for me, Ben. I was just about to do that. So have you got any idea how to do this, Ben?
Doing it right now. Just click general. just click down the text channel in general, and I'm doing the countdown right now. Countdown.
Okay, I can't seem to pop out of the video without, presumably, will that close my commentary? I'm not sure.
It might be easier on a computer than a cell phone.
Actually, that's a good point. Okay, I found it. Oh, right. Okay, all of our players have said they're ready. So,
Oh, Mind of Me just gave us a warning saying, "Oh, on phone it's probably not possible."
yes, it's all right. I figured out what to do now. So, I take it as the countdown's been given then, yeah?
Yeah, I just gave it.
Yeah, okay, that's fine for this first race. So presumably there's just this delay, this 30-second or so delay. Okay, so here we go. So this is the start of the first race now on Winter Training Course, which is arguably the simplest track, but usually a very competitive one.
Yeah, it's probably the most mastered track after Mangaza Speedway. These first two tracks are probably the most mastered tracks in the entire game.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see how Nock gets on actually, because I've never seen her race before, but she seems to be doing a pretty decent job so far.
34.
Yeah, decent first laps. Looks like Metallica's slightly in the lead to start with.
Yeah, Metallica looks like it's in the lead.
Yeah, it's a track where we need a great deal of precision to be competitive here. And there's a lot of bumps that can easily catch you out, and some of these rocks are a lot more dangerous than look as well. A lot of the smaller ones can easily cause you some problems if you catch them, especially on the final lap. So we'll have to see how that goes.
Yeah, and this is a track where optimally it's the most optimal traction setting, which is 600.
Yeah, definitely that high traction helps here, but it looks like Nacho's coming in 37. So it looks like Nacho's won this first race.
Nacho won by just 0.04 of a second.
All right, so that's a 137.15 for Nacho. Metallica with a 137.56, and Nock with a 139.57. So we can just see how good David's times are there, being a 135, just as a comparison.
Yeah.
Very, very strong.
Yeah, 135 is really hard to do, particularly in this kind of a setting. I know you only did it once in last year's tourney, and that was like the only 135 ever done in the tourney last year.
Yeah. All right, so we're just taking down the results of that race. So that's a win for NachoBrado. And probably we can give a little bit of information about our, our competitors. Haven't really been able to speak to them too much about them yet. It's like I say, I don't know too much about Nock at the moment, but she looks like
yeah, he's a new rookie runner. She's a new rookie runner.
Yeah,
really new.
I'm quite impressed actually with that time for a first time doing.
Yeah, 139 for a rookie is not that bad actually.
No, not at all. And we can see here Nacho just doing a bit of fine tuning for the next track. So we see players, use different setups depending on the demands of different tracks. This next circuit is probably, as we've already said, is David's probably his best track, and this is a very, very short track.
Shortest full track in the whole game.
With a lot of very fast corners. See Nacho warming up there. Nacho is very, very capable and experienced player. Competed, I believe, in both tournaments in the last 2 years.
Same thing with Metallica.
Yeah, and he, I remember one race I had with him that was extremely close. It was within hundredths on, hundreds of a second.
It was
very long.
Yeah, it was hundreds of yeah.
I think there might have even been 2 tracks actually. And
I think there were 2 tracks.
And then at the bottom we've got Metallica there, who good friend of mine. He came in a very respectable 4th place last year, and probably is a good time as well to mention that this is kind of a precursor to the running up annual event, which is kind of scheduled for sort of the 15th of April onwards, really. So definitely, if you like pod racing, that's something to look out for.
Yeah, we'll be announcing probably around maybe 3 to 4 U.S. Eastern the full tournament setup on April tomorrow.
Yes.
So it looks like we're getting ready to do it. Okay, Nacho says he's ready. Nox says she's ready. So now we're just waiting on Metallica.
Yeah, and we'll wait for these streams to catch up as well. I
think they're just doing warm-ups at the moment.
Yes. Well, when they say they're ready, then they should start waiting. So it's just a case of waiting to see the streams have caught up.
Okay, all 3 say they're ready.
Okay, we're just going to wait on this stream. Yeah, so we can see.
Not just said she did a 139.54.
Yeah, that's okay. I think I believe I've got that time. So
yeah, but this track is the one this track that we're on now is the one that Davey was by far the best on by a wide margin. 3rd place even today. Very solid runner on it. Very hard to even get below 40 seconds even today. So the fact that he got it a decade ago was a pretty incredible achievement.
Yeah, I don't believe that in the last 2 tournaments we've actually seen a sub 40, if I remember correctly.
I think it's just too risky for a tournament setting to get to that sub 40.
Okay, I think our players are ready.
Yeah. And this track is the shortest full track in the game. Literally will take under a minute.
Yeah, don't blink, you'll miss it.
No, for real. I've said that a few times even when it was done in tourney.
Okay, we're just giving the countdown. And then we'll just wait to see it catch up on the stream.
And this track, Davey just walloped us on back then.
Yeah, he was very dedicated and determined player. Actually, that's one thing I would say about David. He absolutely was not going to give up until he achieved that time. I remember vividly that.
Yeah, we still have the video on YouTube of him just cheering away as he broke that final second mark a decade ago. It was like, yes, great.
Yeah, and I can feel a little bit of nerves here in this this race. Yeah, I think usually one crash spells it. So
yeah.
we'll,
And also, if you're doing this in a tournament setting, that's one of the more harrowing tracks because you always tend to lap the AI, even without upgrades.
Yeah, looks like Metallica's. Sorry, go on.
Nacho just crashed to the finish and won.
I said it would be quick.
Yeah. 41, 42. Yeah. 42 is around my record for Mongaza Speedway back in 2012, and that was what I like to call an island time for the longest of time because it's the first one to do it with Ben on the N64. My lap record's still with Mars Guo because he's a lot more agile, but he's a lot slower than Ben for the lap record.
Yes. Yeah, it looked like Metallica was using a very low traction and frame rate there, actually.
Yeah, you have to go kind of low, not like bottom of the barrel frame rate low, like you have to do with M100, which will be later, but pretty low in both traction and frame rate to do this track well. And
it's quite nice having three players views. Yeah. That's quite nice. But yeah, onto the next track, Bedos, which is, in my opinion, one of the craziest amateur circuit tracks.
Oh yes, this pretty dangerous, full of turns, full of some of what we like to call. It has a texture kill spot. It has a lot of alternate paths where you have to be really knowledgeable about which path is the right one.
Yeah, and it also has these ice sections that are very slippery, but also there's the tent section, which is common to many of the Andoprine tracks, which increases your speed on it as well. So it's kind of like a less lower friction.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Beatles World Ride, it doesn't really save much unless you're going really for like world record pace, but on the other two tracks that share that tunnel in Howard Gorge and Andobe Mountain Run, which are on different circuits, it's a very significant shortcut.
Okay, I've just attached some links there for our spectators if they would like to view some of David's content, just to have a look at some of his runs, including his Mongaza Speedway time. Just attach those there in the Twitch chat.
Yeah, I see. So right now we're doing warm-ups, and this is basically I like to call the slip sliding away track.
Okay, I've also attached a link there just for anybody who would like to help out with some of the matches. We've got a match scheduled for tomorrow. I believe, are you going to be commentating with me with that, Ben?
I think Nox said she will join up. I think she just... Okay, Metallica said... Okay, Nox said she's ready. Metallica said she's ready. Not just said he got 241 as a warm-up, which is actually pretty solid in general.
Yeah, that's very good, actually.
So, okay, I think all three are ready.
Yeah, we'll just wait for our stream, though, to catch up. So, yeah, there is the link there that I've just put if anyone would like to assist generally, and also the current schedule, which shows which matches are going on at the moment for Dave's event. And,
yeah.
Then just the final link just to show the rules and for the players as well. So obviously for players, if any players are watching, if they would like to sign up, there's that link there as well. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, looks like Nock's ready. Nacho is still on the looks like his personal best screen. Okay, so he looks like he's ready now.
Yep, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay,
countdown
the
has been given.
Yep, so now we're waiting on our runners. This was a track. This track is a little bit special for me because this was one of the last tracks I broke Wouter Jansen's record, who was the N64 world record holder and world record holder before both of us joined back in 2008.
Yeah, I remember trying to beat all his records, which was on the, I think it was Speed Demos.
Speed Demo Archives. I still remember how after you just shredded all those times of Wooters that you tried to submit it to him and submit it to them, and they rejected it because they couldn't believe how much faster you went.
Oh, I didn't know you'd remembered that. Yeah, it's definitely a game that's, you know, seen a hell of a lot of development in the last few years. But yeah, here we are off on this crazy track. So there's a lot of options here with the route. You see, they're all three players going for the more risky but faster line. We've also seen a death from Nock, unfortunately. And now over to this ice section, which is very slippery, dangerous. Both avoiding the texture kill spot we discussed. And then up to this section, which you've got a choice. You can go... Oh, another death from Nock there. Just avoiding the cave, which we're not going to see the classic routes, unfortunately. But these are the quickest lines. It'll be interesting to see where they go here. Do they use the tent, or do they use the same route they've used for lap 1? Looks like they're avoiding the tent.
Oh, Nock's going for the tent, though.
Quite successfully as well, I should add.
Yeah. Whoa, Nacho crashed!
Yeah, that was
Metallica's in the lead.
Yeah, it was a very ambitious boost, actually, from Nacho there.
And the reason why Nacho and Metallica are tilt there is because that is one of the texture kill spots in the game.
Oof, another death from Nock.
Yeah, but back in our day, we just avoided the tent outright. They didn't start taking the tent until like maybe a year or two ago.
No, actually, I didn't believe it was faster until about a year ago, and then I started improving my best times. I thought, oh, maybe I'll start using tent again. It's kind of like, you know, you disregard things, and then suddenly you think, well, actually, maybe I'll do it again.
Yeah, I know with no upgrades, I started using the tent right away when I got into no upgrade runs because of the fact that you boost so little.
Yeah.
On no upgrades, it's actually a really great spot to cool down and also floor it.
Yeah, and we see Nock's death there. I think that's a very common place to experience a death right at the end of the tunnel. It's just such a slippery, fast corner, and you've got obviously that additional speed.
And Metallica takes this win.
Very nice time.
.242, 243. 247 for Nacho, 242 for Metallica. Oh.
What was Nacho's time? I didn't catch that.
247.220.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, I think these longer tracks they really catch out less experienced players. I think in general, just because there's so much to remember and so many places where you can experience crashes and things. So
Yeah, but the one at the very end in Spice Mine Run is long, but also deceptively easy.
yeah, that's true. Actually, that's true. This I mean, we sort of discussed, didn't we, about where we thought tracks belonged, and I think really Bedo's it doesn't belong in an amateur circuits for sure. I think.
Yeah, I feel the same way about Vengeance, which is the semi-final track too.
Yeah, Vengeance is pretty difficult, and which we're going to see as well later. It's the
Yeah,
sixth track in this series.
yeah. Aquarks Classic, this is the middle track. It's a very bland track since it shares literally everything with Sunken Cities and Bumpies. And it's kind of one of these tracks that I would say this is, compared to other amateur circuit tracks, this track is certainly one that belongs in the amateur circuit. This one, Aquilera's Classic.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Because I feel like when it comes to the tracks that belong in the amateur circuit track, I feel like we believe the ones that we're doing are the first two, which were Bunker Train, Mangaza, and this one, and also Spice Mine.
Sorry, Ben. I was just catching up there with some of the comments that were written.
Yeah, I see.
I forgot how demanding being a commentator is.
Yeah, a little bit too, but I was really pumped up for this.
Yeah, I think it's pretty difficult, really, to beat any of David's most of his times, really, but especially kind of the first 5 or 6 or so, because they're just very, very strong. We don't
Yeah.
usually see such strong times in tournaments because they usually require great risk, and obviously, that can backfire horribly if you're not careful. So,
Okay, all three players said they are ready for.
okay, so just waiting on Not then.
No, Nox said she's ready too.
Yeah, just gonna wait for the stream as well.
Oh, I see. Smart. Okay, all three are ready for the countdown, it looks like, with the stream.
All right, so our players should be starting shortly.
This is it's supposed to be a hump track, but it's actually a relatively easy track. So the track I remember the track being more for being really bland because it's shares everything with Bumpy's Breakers and Sunken Sea apart from one little tidbit at the end, at the middle.
Well, I always have a saying for what people call easy tracks, because I mean, we consider them easy because there's not too many obstacles, or you're unlikely to to crash anywhere, but you know, the records are just as difficult here. You know, in some cases they can be even the hardest because you just have to play so precisely. So
yeah, no, I would agree. All the amateur circuit records are pretty much among, if not the most mastered, because they are the most commonly run tracks in the game.
yeah, what we're looking for here is some very tight lines and some, you know, good. A lot of it's about boost management, really, and just timing, and so you use your boosters as effectively as you can for the track, which is not as simple as it sounds.
And that's the case with every track in this game, because we have a term called underheating, which refers to, oh, Nacho crashed, and now he's actually in first now.
I wonder if he just got stuck on the boost button there. I've experienced that, you know, before. So
I've had that a few times happen to me too. So that is,
yeah, that's a strange place to crash. So
yeah.
But yeah, it looks like Metallica for the moment is leading the race.
Yeah. Now, it's a very specific pattern, and Nach doesn't quite recognize the pattern yet. Pattern for these gates on the Aquilaris tracks are left front, right back, first lap. Opening and closing favors the left side on the second lap, and opening and closing favors the right side on the third lap.
Yeah, I swear I've experienced a change though. Once it was like the other way around for some reason. I was totally confused.
Yeah, but that's usually if you go at a certain pace, it usually goes.
Yeah, and obviously, and Sunken I think has a slightly different one as well.
Yeah.
Sunken, I should probably explain, is another track on the Aquilaris planet, Sunken City, which featured similar aspects of the track.
Yeah, they share almost everything between these two.
Yeah, but Metallica coming up for the final figure 8 section here. Looks like he's on good heat management, so you can just hold it together here.
Oh, sub 240, which is really hard to do with Aquilaris. And that is faster. That is not bad at all for this track. 239. That's really solid. So that's another win for Metallica. And now going into the going into the quarterfinal track, we now have Nacho and Metallica tied.
Exciting stuff. So what was Nacho's time again? I didn't catch it.
I did not catch it quite yet either.
Oh, okay. Oh, they've written it's okay. They've written him in chat.
Back again, huh? You want that one?
So, this next track in Metal Star 100, this is the one track in the game where you have to use the lowest traction and frame rate most optimally.
Yeah, this is not an easy track in my opinion. It's quite demanding. It has some sections which are very high risk, very high reward, and
particularly what Metallica's going to with this hairpin.
Yeah,
this is the make or breaker on the track.
Yeah, it's a very, very fast corner. It can be done without braking if your line is perfect and you use the sliding technique correctly, which is a aspect for the game mechanics.
And this is why the low frame rate is used, because for some reason you slide better at lower frame rates.
Yeah, I think it's because of how the game dictates like how many frames, because I think the sliding is related to the number of frames, I think is the reason.
Probably, because on this track I actually held the world record on for about 6 years, both lap and free lap.
Yeah, I remember it. It probably is perhaps in some way attributed to the lower frame rate which you can have with the Nintendo, because I think it runs at
Nintendo 64 is 24, lowest of the low.
Yeah, so I think older computers. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm guessing mine was probably 30 frames.
That's what I was thinking. The PC and Dreamcast, I think, were like 30.
Yeah, so nowadays players can, well, at least for these matches, can use between 24 and 60 frames for their races. And it looks like all three of our players are ready.
Another fun fact about this track is that it's also a clone of the real life Sonoma Raceway in Northern California.
Oh yes, I know that circuit. Yeah, I play Project Cars, so I know what that is.
But this track is based off of Sonoma Raceway, just for fun.
I believe wasn't Doug Derby based on Laguna Seca as well?
Yes, that's correct. Doug Derby is Laguna Seca.
Who discovered that?
I think Lightning found both of those similarities, and he's another runner of this game. He's one who's done a lot of the archiving for it. So
yeah, and actually he I believe helped design the background that we have here, which is of Mongaza Speedway for this event.
Yeah, because we did that in honor of him, Davey, because this was, as we said before, Mongaza Speedway was by far his best track.
Yeah, definitely.
And this is exciting. We're going into the quarterfinal with Nacho and Metallica tied. So it can go either way for Metallica and Nacho.
Yeah, we should probably add actually that the ranks order of the competitors can potentially change depending on future results, but certainly for the moment, it's very interesting to see how this is going to go. I mean, they were very close last year's tournament as well.
Yeah. Here we go, the hairpin. Metallica makes it. Nacho makes it. 35. Metallica is in a big lead because he lost the least amount of momentum going out of the hairpin.
Yeah, she's 37.5 first lap for Nacho.
Metallica got a 35, which is really a solid pace for this track.
Yeah, 35 is definitely optimal first lap. And we can see that he's using very low frame rate. It makes the pods very bumpy over that section that Metallica just went through.
And then a 35 again. Metallica doesn't crash. He's going to be around 145, possibly.
Yeah, it just goes to show how really, in general, I feel like this game has developed in terms of, the competition and the standard of play in general. I remember in the day when we were playing, there really was hardly anybody who was doing any decent time.
Yeah, we were just vetting the book as we go, and 147, which is really solid.
I have to be honest, that last corner for Metallica made me very nervous. When you catch the back of the pod on the walls, it can easily kill you. So.
Yes, he was lucky he didn't die. So Metallica wins by about a second. So now it is 3, and now here comes Vengeance. This is the track that I really feel like does not belong in the amateur circuit. I feel like it belongs in the Galactic circuit. Executioner should be in the amateur circuit.
Yeah, I would argue it's probably harder than the Gauntlet, which is on the invitational circuit list.
No, I would agree too. The Gauntlet is really easy unless you're going for the skip, which I know you found back in the day, and I had to skip hunt to find it because you kept it secret. Oh, not just saying this is the best part. This is has one of the most atrocious UVU tubes in the track, because the track is the Ubu 4 tracks, like Vengeance, are chock full of ore to crash into, and the first part of this tube is especially atrocious because you have it full of ore, and then a reactor core beam that, even with invincibility on, kills you if you hit it.
Yeah, I actually prefer the tubes on Vengeance to the Gauntlet, actually. Perhaps a little bit.
I remember when we were competing back in the day how I preferred the tubes in Executioner over Vengeance, and you were vice versa.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised actually by that. 'Cause I mean, I would have thought on the Nintendo with 64, 24 frames, that the tubes would be hell, I imagine. But
Yeah, the tubes are usually hell, but with Executioner, if you just break and then point down at the tube, I could usually hold a very consistent line, so...
no, we don't hate Vengeance that much, Dom Ray. It's a pretty good track, actually. I'm pretty fond of it. And it's always exciting to watch in tournament. So a low 103 there for Metallica first lap. That's pretty excellent, actually.
This is all warm-up, though.
Let's see. There's some risky rock hitting from Nacho.
Yeah, cog shaft, then you go through a cog shaft, then go through a cog shaft, then a tube. It's just, and the other reason why I found this tube so brutal is that for some reason I could never hold straight on the second and third laps. I would always have myself spinning on the second and third laps.
Yeah, I think that's just a characteristic of the game, because I have that same issue. So, actually, I'm very glad that we have had 90 minutes for this match now instead of 60, because as I said, I was very concerned about the time.
Yeah, we're gonna be going over 60 for sure from the looks of it, because these two final tracks are the longest of the amateur circuit.
Yeah, I knew it would take longer than an hour, so I'm very glad that that's been the case, fortunately.
Yeah.
All right, so it looks like our players are ready to do what is perhaps the most exciting track of the amateur series.
Probably easily the most difficult track of the amateur circuit, too. This is easily the most difficult track of the amateur circuit, too, I would say.
Yeah.
So, and I don't expect anyone to come close to the 305 here, just because this track is so dangerous when you're going for the fastest time on this track.
Yeah, it's actually a favorite of mine last year. I used it on several occasions in last year's annual tournament, which went pretty well.
Yeah, this is also a track because of that tube that's most optimal or higher frame rates, because it's a lot more stable. You're a lot more in control at higher frame rates, but there's also a higher risk of getting soft locked into a rock at higher frame rates.
Yeah, I still actually hadn't discovered a way of getting out of that.
You have to reset.
Okay. How do you reset?
Restart the race is what I meant by reset.
Oh, right, okay. I thought you meant you could continue the race.
No, I meant restart.
Alright, so it's
And here we go. This is like, see, you have to narrowly dodge that reactor core beam. It looks like a giant version of the binders used here, but don't. it will kill you even with invincibility on.
You can see the tubes, the speeds Metallica's reaching over 1200.
Yeah, it
speed
gives you a
units.
200 speed boost.
It's a new lap record.
We have 102 and 103 by Nacho and Metallica. That is really fast for this track.
Yeah, very, very fast first lap time.
Yeah. I know I actually was the first player to hold the booster down that first straight right after the shared section.
I can't remember that far back. Oh,
Yeah.
Aggressive line from Knock, trying
Yeah.
to hold that boost through the slot there. That's
Oh, Nacho hit the reactor core beam.
oof. Yeah, I remember I had some very strange deaths on this track when I had experienced some frame drops, which can be fatal in these tubes. And yeah, like we said, you have to be very careful with the.
Oh, Metallica crashed, so now it's even again.
That particular spot is notorious actually for doing that.
Yeah, a lot of cases I see people lose the boost and crash because it just throws their patterns out of whack.
Yes, that's it. Yeah, like the pod suddenly jerks in the direction you're steering because of that sudden loss of speed, which causes you to hit walls tighter than you think. So at the moment, very close, I'm guessing, between Metallica and Nacho.
Yeah, if Nacho wins this, it's going to be a tiebreaker.
I suppose that's, in a way, a good thing about having 7 races.
Yes, yeah. And
Our final section.
It's a new
and
lap
308 with a death. And is that a 1-0? Yes, that looks like a 1-0 lap, which is insane.
That's crazy, actually, with a death.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's now 3-3. So this next race is going to be a tiebreaker for Nacho and Metallica.
And Nock just coming in to finish off her final lap. Yeah, so we're up to 3-all.
Yeah, 3-all. That's from tennis, I think, the all for a tie. And this next track in Spice Mine Run is like probably the most deceptively easy track in the game because it has so many straights that are super easy to boost on, and that just makes you lose your guard more than usual.
Yeah, it's very easy to fall asleep and just do something silly on this track. Yeah.
Or just abuse the boost like crazy.
Yeah, I did a test actually to see how much time you could lose if you were inefficient with your boost, and I found it was around about 5 seconds.
That's massive.
Yeah, like if you boost as frequently as you possibly can, it's like 5 seconds slower than normal.
Yeah. Okay.
And Nacho just decided to do a me.
He hit the mine cart while you hit the dozer.
Yeah, I hit that wall as well in a previous race. I seem to crash more on this track than the hard ones.
Well, they said if you hit... Well, it seems like this track punishes you if you're on world record pace, because if you're on world record pace, the dozer's in this precarious position where if you don't angle it just right, you crash into it.
Yeah, just getting memory flashbacks there.
Oh yeah, tourney flashbacks to me, because I remember last year how the last year's match ended with Mike with you crashing into the dozer after a 10-second sync pause, and it was 10-second sync pause, then you crashing immediately.
Yeah, we should probably explain we're discussing the grand final of last year's annual event.
Yes, definitely.
I have to admit, it was slightly amusing though.
Yeah, I heard you. I'm glad that you were laughing because the reactions were insane, and I didn't even catch the full scope of it until I saw the Twitch stream in replay.
Well, I obviously practiced it, you know, away from the tournament, and I hadn't experienced one death there, and then to have it in the final was kind of unusual. Yeah. So just one of those.
Yep, so true. And here we go. We are going into the final race with a tiebreaker between Nacho and Metallica. This is exciting. Didn't expect this. What a great race with a bang for sure.
Yeah, I knew it would always be very competitive. I mean, this was a track I remember particularly from Nacho, who did a very good time here with no upgrades against me last year.
Yeah, that one came down to, that was one of the matches between you and Nacho that was down to like hundredths or tenths of a second.
Yeah, I think there was a closer one with Scrappers, but I think this one stood out to me more because we both did very good times on this track.
Yeah.
So it was
Nacho also last year also had muscle memory from doing the circuit and no upgrade real-time attack by using Beto originally. Oops. When yes, no upgrades, it's the fastest as bowls, but Ben, you'll be seen here.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it's quite a significant difference between no upgrades bowls and no upgrades Beto as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's also significant even between no upgrade bowls and Ben. But no upgrade Ben is far easier to handle than no upgrade bowls. And you might be wondering why all these players are using Ben Quaternaros, and that's because Ben Quaternaros is the fastest pod in the game for all but 2 tracks, which are not in the circuit.
Yeah, Ben has a extremely high top speed, so he gets an additional 400 speed units when he boosts. He also has an extremely long boost, which is one of the most important stats of any pod. And even his turning actually is pretty good, like especially when you use the sliding, you know, as well. So for the majority of tracks, he's able to have a very high average speed over the whole track, which is one of the main reasons why you know, he performs best usually.
Yeah. Highest boost thrust paired with the second longest boost duration after Mars Guo. And Mars Guo is not that much longer than Ben.
Yeah, I think actually Ben even goes further on one boost than Mars does just because of the additional speed that he has.
Yes, I think so too.
But as you see, it's not really a crazy track this, it's just the case of who can save the most time at every given section really is what this track is testing. And then we've got this this section here which Nacho and Metallica are currently on, Nox coming in now, which obviously you can see just builds a little bit more speed than usual over this section, even though it's uphill.
Yeah, it has an uphill portion at first because you're going uphill on a conveyor belt that gives you a speed boost. Then you're supposed to floor it while you're taking advantage of that speed boost, and then hold it all the way through the downslope, ideally.
Yeah, and then there's that risky section at the bottom, which, again, another potential kill spot there. Which actually was another death I took at Spice Mine Run, thinking about it. I think that was the year before, though, possibly.
I think so, too. Here we go, final lap. Very close between Nacho and Metallica. And this is where the dozer can get in a very precarious spot. See how it's right in between there? And Metallica did the death you did in that grand final.
Yeah.
So, Nacho probably is going to win this because of the same thing that happened in that grand final match.
Yeah, it was unfortunate for Metallica. I think Nacho was actually ahead anyway. I think by a couple of seconds, if I noted the time.
Yeah, he looked like he was a second ahead before the crash, but now since the crash takes about 5 seconds, and he's like 6 seconds ahead.
Yeah, I did a test actually. I found it was anything between kind of 3.5 and about 7.5 seconds, depending on the conditions under which you crash. So
yeah, but average I think is about 5.
Yeah, average was about 5. Yeah. See,
and Nacho comes in with a 342, and that actually beats Davies' Spice Mine run of 343.
Yeah, excellent time from Nacho there.
So Nacho wins this in a near squeaker.
But yeah, that was a very exciting first match for the start of this event.
No. Kind of, yeah, a really exciting way to start. I didn't expect it to go into a tiebreaker in the end.
Well, I had a feeling it was going to be close, actually, between
Nacho and Metallica because of last year. So, congrats to Nachos, and so looks like we're gonna ask for interviews.
And actually, a pretty excellent performance from Nock as well, I thought. I mean,
yeah, for a rookie, pretty good.
For anyone who's ever played this game, I mean, those times are difficult to achieve. You know, those are not easy times. Yeah. I mean, I still remember when I was doing times like that. Not so long after I'd started taking on records and things. So,
and that would have been same thing with me because we both started in 2008 around the same time. Hey, Nacho. Hey, Nock.
Oh.
Oh, hi. That was fun.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah. It was. I'm glad you had fun. That was the purpose of it, and it looks like Metallica might be joining too in chat. So, but I didn't expect it to go into a tiebreaker between you and Nacho into the end. Okay, Metallica has to go, so thank you. But I didn't expect it to go into a tiebreaker into Spice Mine Run. That was a fun way to start this whole thing.
Yeah. And that Spice Mine Run was actually a PB for me.
I wondered about that actually. Yeah, I saw it was listed on your records. So yeah, well done.
Thank you.
So you're gonna probably be submitting that to speedrun.com afterward.
Oh, absolutely.
That's
it's kind of funny. Bunta Training, Vengeance, and Spice Mine were all actual PBs for me.
PB even with a death on Vengeance?
Yeah.
Yeah. On Vengeance,
going
that's just
on
how
Wait a minute, that doesn't seem right. I gotta look back at that.
You crashed into the reactor core beam
I
on
did,
the second lap.
and the only reason I did is because I got confused on which tilt put me which way. So instead of going vertical, I went horizontal. I was like, no! And it was too late to react.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it seems like you didn't lose too much time for that. I mean, having a 308 with the death is excellent. So
Yeah, actually, wait a minute.
Yeah.
So I know the one lap was definitely a PP for me because I got one flat, but
Yeah, one flat. That's what I looked at. It's like one flat. That's like really solid for this. It's like one flat's like very world record pace pretty much for the full track.
Okay.
Because the world record for the Vengeance lap full track is around 59 seconds. So 1 minute. So yeah, 1 minute flat is really solid.
Nice.
How did you feel about your match, Knock? Because we both thought you did pretty well for someone who's never done this before.
Yeah, aside from my Betos and the end of Vengeance, I'm very happy overall. I set 2 or 3 new PBs, which are, still 10 seconds slow compared to what I would like, but
Yeah, excellent.
Nice.
Getting better.
Vengeance is always a difficult track in tournament.
Yeah. I was happy with my first 2 laps, and then the third one, I think I died 4 times.
Oh
Yeah.
no. Crazy.
Yeah, I think did you find nerves getting to you a bit at that point, or?
I don't even know what happened on Vengeance specifically. It felt like laps 1 and 2 I was sort of locked in on the, easier strats I had practiced, and then lap 3 just everything stopped looking right.
I've had that happen too with Vengeance and I go back to 2008, so it's a really hard track.
Yeah, for sure.
It's one of those tracks that makes you question why it's an amateur circuit.
Yes, I honestly feel like Executioner and Vengeance should be swapped.
Yeah, I can see that,
Yeah. Putting something without a gravity tube on the amateur circuit would be a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then again, that's the game though, right? You're supposed to go through stupid hard tracks and crash all the time.
Yeah, we should
Yeah.
probably say it's not an unusual thing to crash in this game, even for very good players. It's rather an inevitability, just because it's a very, very fast-paced racing game, and obviously with all the uncharacteristic hazards of a science fiction racing game, it's it's very rare to get through more than a few races without experiencing a death, really. So.
Yeah.
And even then, only on a handful of tracks.
Yeah, that's true as well. Some tracks as well are, I think, notoriously bad. I remember, I think some of the worst, if I can remember from last year, included Grabvine and Zugger, surprisingly. But I think that's because of that bulldozer right at the end of the circuit, which everyone likes hitting. So
I like calling it the sucker punching dozer.
I like that. Yeah, that those are gonna be a pain in the butt on Zaga.
Oh well, does anyone have anything else to add before we wrap up?
No, I mean, other than just, thank you for organizing this. This is an awesome event.
Oh, thanks, and thanks as well for participating, because obviously, David's a very good friend of mine, and it's great. He's very happy to know that people have sort of appreciated his what he's done, and it's just good to see some straightforward racing as well. So it's obviously it's been nice to have my co-commentator, just who like me was one of the old school players, Ben, with me. Yeah, it's great. But we should say that we're having a match as well tomorrow, which at the moment is scheduled for being on Channel 3, and it will be at 12 p.m. Eastern Time, and that's a match you don't want to miss, because this is going to be featuring last year's annual tournament champion Ace, and a relatively new player in the community who's already shown a lot of promise, named Domray. So they will be playing tomorrow for anyone who's interested, which we've attached the link there in the Twitch chat. If you just go scroll back, you can have a look there and just see what's coming up. But personally, I'd like to thank everybody who has been of help for organising this event with me. For all of our players today, for Speed Gaming, and for you, Game Draco, as well, for joining me in commentary.
No, this was a great way to start it when both of us were from Davy's era and knew him probably more than any other runner in the game. Yeah,
David's definitely a beginning pioneer of this game really, like with me, had an enthusiasm for, just seeing what could be done on it and take it to a pro level as opposed to just, playing it casually. So, and I think it's, David was one of my inspirations as a player. So, yeah.
Same here with me. And all three of us were like top 3 for that era.
Yeah. And actually I should probably just say for the players who are here today, I was saying earlier, it's great to see the development of this game and the level now which players are playing to is really good to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to bring this game to something that I didn't think was possible when I was, a 6-year-old kid dying over and over on Abyss.
Yeah, I was dying that way until I found the skip by Miles, who was the first pioneer of the skip of that track.
I suppose that's one way to avoid getting killed is just to not do the track and do the skip.
Yes.
Yes!
So true.
So true. Agree, Nacho.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I'm very looking forward to the rest of the participants and see what they have in store for us.
Oh yeah, it'll be exciting tomorrow with pretty much the top 2 players now currently running against each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's gonna be super exciting.
Your classic reigning champ versus the up-and-coming rival. That's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yep.
All right, does anyone have anything else to add?
I'm good here.
I think that was mine. Peace.
Okay, excellent. Well, in that case, again, so thanks everyone for watching, and again, we'll look out for the match tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern time, and which will be on Channel 3. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Take care.
Take care, everyone.
May the force be with you.